the universe is a free will system. This is the most important law, rule of the universe, is free will. And that's why you have to ask. You have to ask because everything in the universe will do exactly, the universal energy, God, will assist you exactly as you want it to. But you have to ask. So you're free to live a limited life. You're free to create beliefs and various things that will keep the energy limited in various ways according to whatever you want and whatever you ask. And sometimes we do this through beliefs that are, you might not feel like you consciously believe these things, but you grew up in a certain area, you grew up in a family, you're part of a certain community, and these beliefs were a part of the greater, group consciousness. But somewhere within you have accepted these things. And what I was saying to my wife was that it's like when you sign a contract to buy a house, right? And you've got all of these pages and pages and pages, and you're going to closing, and then they say an initial here, an initial here, and here, and here, and here, and here, and here, and it goes on and on and on, that you have to initial and sign all of these various clauses. So your relationship with the universe and with your life as it is manifesting is very much, it's really within your responsibility. It is whether you realize it or not, somewhere, whether it is in this lifetime or in other lifetimes, that you've initialed a little clause that makes the energy act in a certain way, which limits it, and according to some belief or some intention that you had set. And so when you do as what I did a few years back, it hit me like such a revelation about the whole nature of free will, and of how there isn't any limitation in my life or in yours that I haven't willingly created somehow, some way, at some point in the past, on some plane intervention. So I said, okay, well, if that's the case, I want to live a life without limitation. So I asked for that, and I put that out there, and I do that every day now, because it's not a simple process to just wave a magic wand and say, okay, I want to unsign all of those little initials. I mean, you know how long, well, most of us know how long it takes when you're going through filling out some various documents, and it's just like it takes time, and you have to read the little bits, and you have to be conscious about it, and then you initial, and then you go to the next and the next and the next. It takes time to unravel. It takes time to unravel all of the various contracts that you have made with the universe, with God, that you have asked. I want this kind of life. I want that kind of life. I believe this. I don't believe that. It's your entire existence has been made up of these moments, and you can't just wave a magic wand and make them go away instantly. It's going to take time. It's going to take real insight. You're going to have to sit with yourself. You're going to have, it's like when you ask, as I have asked, and if you choose to ask, you can say, I want to live a life without limitation. And when you say that, you've asked the divine to release this solvent into your life, which will start to go to work. And immediately you say a life without limitation, all of a sudden it goes boom, 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 and it finds this belief inside of you. And goes, wait a minute, what about this? And you're gonna, once you do that, you're gonna be suddenly dealing with a lot of, hey, what about this? What about this? What about this? It's gonna come up in your consciousness. It's gonna come up in your life. You're gonna be challenged, and you're gonna be given an opportunity to let go of that belief. And you just need, when it comes up, you acknowledge it, and you can appreciate it and love it, and you can let it go consciously. You can decide, place that initial on there. I no longer believe this. This is no longer necessarily. We rescind this and send that off. And every moment that you do that, every time that happens, you will become more free, and you will be headed more towards this limitless life that is possible, because we are free to live a life of miracles and of limitless possibilities. But we are also free to live a life of limitation and to live a very human life. We can live a divine life. We can live a human life. And that's all up to you. It's up to each of us. We get to choose and live the life that we want to, the life of our dreams, the life of our intention. So for me, what I've done as I started to look at myself and say, I don't want to accept any limitations in my life. I want to go in and I want to ferret out every belief in me that is not serving any purpose, which very honestly, as I went through the process day by day, I started to realize that there were very few beliefs that were necessary at all for me. Most beliefs only serve to limit.